Hi, Somadatta.
Hi, Sana.
Thank you so much
How are
for
you?
joining in today. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm perfect, fantastic, and I'm even more better after reading your book.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm glad, you read it.
Yes, it's beautiful, and trust me, my children also made me read it, and we went very slow because I know it's not a very long book, it's a short and sweet one. So, but my children were like, okay, read me the chapter again, read this again, read that again. So, we took almost 10 days to read the entire book, and it was really, really beautiful, and they know here so well now.
Thank you. Yeah, especially for your elder child, she would be able to comprehend a little bit more. It is for her age group. 6, 7 and above, those age children will be able to relate a little bit more
Correct, correct.
compared to
Absolutely.
very small ones.
Right. Why don't you tell something about yourself, like, as a parent, and then how did you venture into writing?
Sure. So, okay, as a parent, I would say parenting journey started, long back when we applied in Kara for our child. That's when I would say, all, parents who become parents to adoption, their journey starts at that time, right? So even, kind of when we applied in Kara, we went to this Shishu Mandir for our HSR. So, they were also very nice to us because all the people who were taking care of our home study also did our counseling, and as part of our home study we also had to fill kind of a questionnaire which had all the questions which would come up when in your journey as a parent of an adoptive child, so that prepared us a lot mentally and broke a lot of myth. Even we had a lot of myth before we became parents through adoption, but after going through a lot of counseling and thanks to the WhatsApp groups that we are part of together, and also foreign of heart babies on Facebook, through this community, I was kind of, you can say, groomed or prepared, at least if not nothing, at least 30 to 40% to become a parent. But there is a lot more to it. It's like a tip of iceberg which the experienced parents keep telling, and when we actually become parent, it is completely different. And for adoptive parents, the thing is, all of a sudden overnight you become a parent of a child who can move and who can probably babble and have some opinions. The child is not just a newborn with no opinion at all, not like that. So that our journey started in 2023, that is last year, and our daughter was 11-month old when we saw her first, right? So we saw her through a video call. As soon as her, so first of all, by the process the message came that this is your girl, and she's in Kolkata, and this is your agency, you should call them next day. So when we called them next day, they said that yeah, she's a very sweetheart, she's a sweetheart of the, her name, and we still call her by that name at home. Her name was Pekam. Pekam means peacock ka, the feathers, that when the peacock dances, that feathers that conceal fanning out, that is called Pekam in Bengali. So it's such a beautiful name for such a beautiful child, and we were so happy. And but the agency kept warning us that she's very shy. She's a sweetheart, but she's shy. We don't know whether she will go to you. So we flew down to Kolkata without a return ticket. It was an advantage that it was also our hometown. But we flew down without a return ticket. So we said, we don't know anything. We will come meet her every day until she accepts us, and then we will do the all the formality and we'll take her. But we are not taking all that she will not bond or anything. We will make sure that happens. So I don't know, it's a divine bond, right? Like in all your previous videos, also you say that it's destiny and something divine which you can't explain. Somehow, when we met her 3 days before actually getting her home, and all 3 days she was playing with us. She was playing with the toys, but we thought, okay, she is amused by some new people coming, and on that very day she will cry. Okay, but when we signed all the papers, they got her, and she was sleeping at that time, and our caregivers, they all loved her, and it was a very nice place where she lived. Actually, they took care of her, and the caregivers were like, okay, thank god she's sleeping, because if she wakes up then she will cry. But just at the moment they were handing us over, she got up, and all the pictures, if I send you the pictures sometimes, you will see that her eyes are open. She is not smiling, of course, but she's so brave, she's not even crying. Okay, she is with us. And then when we took her out and we sat in the car and we came home, she didn't even look back. I mean, she didn't cry, or she didn't. It's not that she wasn't loved. I have all the pictures from her where she stayed, and she had a very loving time. But somehow she also knew that somehow God also, gave her that signal that this is your parents, and that bonding happened, and then we came home. And then our journey began. There were lots of ups and downs. Like we made very hot food, burnt her mouth. That's how it started. And yeah, so we did not know we had a dog before her. So we thought that if she poops, we'll use that scooper to scoop, and how to clean after her. Like we were using all our dog parenting on her, and we were real mess. But yes, 1 year has passed. She has completed 1 year of homecoming. She has turned 2 this year, and we are now, I can proudly say, pro parents, giving tips to other new parents also.
Wonderful, wonderful. So this is like, I think, it's something you said which I can actually relate to because when we got our child home, not actually home because we were moving to two, three different cities. So I still remember like until we, took the flight, so
Mm,
until we boarded the flight, she was all
mm,
silent, very silent.
mm,
I thought, okay, the child is very silent. Okay, she's
mm,
quite mild, like that way.
mm, mm,
And she was not smiling much, not even smiling, I would say. Like
mm,
you said, no, she was serious. Like her eyes are
mm,
open,
mm,
watching here and there.
mm,
And
mm,
the moment the flight took off, you won't
mm,
believe she's screaming, smiling, laughing. And we
mm.
both were like, oh my God. You know, it's like you said, the God signals, maybe the God
Yes,
signals
yes,
are like, you're going home, now be happy.
yes,
There's nothing to worry
yes,
about. And we still have
yes.
her videos from the flight, that she's laughing. And we're like, where was this laugh in the last 2, 3 days? Looking at you. Yes, absolutely. Like, the parenting journey, as you mentioned, is definitely, it's so different for each parent, but so similar. So
True, true, true.
before we actually get into the, like details of the book, let me
Mm,
explain to the viewers, like what exactly is homecoming. Because I have seen whenever an adoptive parent posts about, like today is our child's homecoming, lot of people come and start commenting, happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday. And
yeah.
let me tell my dear viewers, like homecoming is not the celebration of a birthday, but homecoming is the day when the child actually comes to their forever home. So that is what we celebrate it as homecoming, and that is what all it is about. Here's homecoming in Somadata's book. And before I ask you this question, next question, I want to know: is Hia's homecoming actually your daughter's homecoming? That's the same story, your story.
Somewhat. It is inspired by my daughter's story. So I have written
Wow.
also in the foreword,
Mhm.
it's inspired, but there are a lot of incidents that I made up. Okay, there are a lot of fiction. That's why my daughter's name actually is Riddhi. Riddhi
Mm-hmm.
also means heart, and Hia also means heart. So I
Correct,
changed that
correct.
name to Hia's Homecoming, so that later on she does not accuse me that you have all made up stories, and then you have put it without my consent. I can use Snowy's name because she will never sue me. But so I have actually used my own dog's name. Snowy is my dog. But for Riddhi, I didn't use her name because actually it is not everything is correct, but many things are also very similar, like the journey in the flight, for example, that chapter, if you
Mm-hmm.
read, that chapter is actually almost very similar to what happened with us.
Wow,
So
lovely. So, did you
yeah.
always want to write, so Madhata, like you have this passion towards writing?
Yes, so I had, but then I never, had the guts to write a novel or such a, a big story. I wrote, small articles or poetry, and in school, some school magazine, that kind of a thing. I like to read, more. So when Riddhi came home, I was reading a lot of books, for example, In My Heart by Nandana Dev Sen. And when I was reading, I was like that See, for us, as we all know, that we never lie to our adoptive children that you have come by birth. We all tell their story from day one in a child appropriate way.
Correct.
But then somehow, I feel it's, my perspective, but somehow I feel that there are some weak moments for even adoptive parents where they feel that, okay, what's the need? Let me give the easy story. Why to take the hard path? Although most of the times, we try to be very honest, but for example, somebody as the neighbor asked that, okay, was she a cesarean or a normal? Just to avoid the argument or just to avoid any further question, we'll tell normal and move away. Okay, just not that we want to lie, but because we don't want any other unnecessary questions that who adopted, where did you get, she's so lucky. We don't want all that. So we sometimes tell these kind of things. Okay, so like a white lie, you would say. But I did not want that scope to be there in my life. I was like, sometimes I might get tempted to not tell her story, because it's so easy to not tell, and life becomes easy,
Right, right,
right? So
absolutely.
I might take that easy path. But if I write, if things are in print, I can never deny that, right? So I will write it, I will print it, so that even I cannot go back on my words. My truthfulness will always be there in front of my daughter. So it is actually a gift for her. I intended to complete it by, and actually I completed, that's also divine. I completed the manuscript on 20th Jan, which was her homecoming day. That's
Oh,
the day I
wow.
wrote her final chapter. So even the final chapter of Cubbon Park, where they went, actually we went to Cubbon Park on her homecoming. Then that evening I came back and wrote the last chapter, and it ended there. So I wanted to publish it by her birthday, which is 30th, but I could not. Because I was new, I was learning, so it took some time. But yes, it is mainly for her first audiences. When she grows up, she would know that Mama has always put the truth in front.
Lovely, lovely. That's a very good idea to, like document things that happens. Most of the time, we as, heart parents always think like, okay, this is a special moment. I am going to make a note of it. But we are
Hmm.
so involved and engrossed in experience those moments, no? We forget to write them. Like for me, every moment is so special. And initially I was documenting and I got so busy with her life, running behind her, like talking to her, playing with her. Then I said, I don't want to waste my time writing. Let me enjoy this moment. So, and trust me, and I am really happy that you actually decided to write it down, because it's not just for, your daughter, but there will be so many other heart babies and the parents who are going to read this, and they will be able to connect dot by dot, like most of the experiences that you have shared is so similar to each and everything that we have gone through, probably like any heart parent would have gone through. So I would like to ask you, Somdatta, like, do you think you would you like to start a blog or something where like you can actually start writing short snippets of your life or something similar to that, so that most of
Yes.
many heart parents will actually benefit with that.
Think I should. Actually, I have a blog which is quite, dormant since many years. But I think, what I thought, I would be more active on social and start writing. So yes, I have been thinking of, doing that, so that, we keep making the world aware and normalize adoption. And
Absolutely.
it should not be a hush hush topic, and it should not be a gossip. I want to be very open. I don't want it to come as a gossip or a surprise, and make a big deal out of it. Okay, it is just another way of being a parent. So yes,
Correct.
you read my mind. I do have plans for writing shorter yes, blogs on this. And also, one more thing, very what to say, very heartwarming thing is that when I wrote this book, I told everybody, and one of them was the social worker from where my daughter came from, the Kolkata Mukti Rehabilitation Center. So she's very fond of Riddhi, and she keeps messaging her, asking about her. She meets her also when we go to Kolkata. So she read the book and she was so happy that, she asked many parents to read wherever she went for counseling. And yesterday or day before yesterday, she had messaged me, can you translate this book to Bengali? Because in course, West Bengal, people are
Correct.
more comfortable reading in
Correct.
Bengali.
Correct.
So, can you translate this to Bengali so that, whenever I am going for any home visit, I will recommend that book, so that they are prepared. that this is what is going to happen, this is how life is, and this will be educational for them. So this is like, what to say, very big kind of love, that very, huge love that I have got
Absolutely,
from.
absolutely. So I think it's a
Yes.
very fantastic idea that your social worker has, like suggested, and I'm really looking forward for you to translate it into Bengali. And if you permit, probably I will do it, translate it into
In
Hindi
Kannada.
or with Kannada
Okay.
also. We as Pragna also we keep discussing that these things, should actually go to school libraries where children will read, and then the teachers should be equipped enough to make them understand why is it okay, because I think in school they don't have any such kind of chapter. Probably there might be some chapter on adoption, but I really don't know like how it is being processed or how it is being delivered to the children.
One thing, Sahana, if you have noticed, when we were also children, the way adoption was brought to us, that it's a charity and it's a noble cause. And if you
Correct.
adopt, you're doing a very great, noble work and favor to the children. And the orphanages are like I'm not saying every orphanage is good, they're good and bad. But then, whatever I have seen, 90% of parents, they praise the SARS. Okay, they're taking care of the children very well. But then, the word orphanage itself has a negative connotation. When it comes
Correct.
to somebody's mind, they're like, okay, they were treated, not treated well, or those, children were not fed, or, they were actually staying in a very poor hygienic condition and all of that. So that is a myth, that we need to break. That, it's not an evil world that we are living in all the time. There are also a lot of goodness. So I've not used the word orphanage. If you have seen
Correct.
in my entire
Correct.
book, I have used children's home, right? So I don't want to call a children orphan. They will get their parents sometimes in their life. Otherwise, they're the children of God. That's how I see. So why don't you call it a children's home, and make it a positive sounding thing? And that's how our children. That's where our children came from, and it was not a bad place. So that's how I think the children that they are growing up today should have that in their mind, and they so that they will not pity other friends who are, if they come to know that they're adopted, immediate
Correct.
reaction will not be of pity.
There's one chapter where you actually play a game with the neighborhood children.
Mm.
So I was very curious to know like how did you come up with this idea? Did you really play that game with the children or you
So
went there? Was it
no,
sounding
no,
so
no. I did not
interesting?
read it. I did not. This game I did not play also. But in the but that I actually, that invitation part, that party, and all of this actually did not happen in that way ever. Actually, that entire thing is complete fiction, which I kind of imagined. But these questions, came to me, that who is her biological mother, or then my daughter, even now, she has very chubby cheeks, and she had very, very cute legs and chubbiness in her. So there was a comment also, which I could not put in the book because it was meant for children. But somebody asked me, oh, are you sure she's not your surrogate, and she's not your own? Yeah, see, you have not got her through surrogacy, and it's actually adoption, because she does not look adopted. She means she does not look malnourished. That's what they thought, that
Correct.
these children will be completely there are, of course, children who come malnourished. They come from difficult places, I'm not denying that. But this is a very stereotypical kind of a mentality. So I was continuously brewing that in my mind. So when I thought I will write the book, I had imagined, okay, if I was given one moment to call all these people under one roof and make them understand, what our daughter means to us, how will I do that, so that even children will have fun and they'll understand? So I kept thinking, and this took place in my head. This game really did not happen, but maybe sometimes in the future I'll apply in practical. But it actually did
But
not
that game
happen.
has given a lot of scope for other parents to, actually play that game with parents as well as children, like that was quite interesting game. I kind of got really, like excited, like, wow, that's such a nice way to, come up with, the theory, the anecdote, like how you can explain it to others. So it was very, very beautiful. And there are a lot of tidbits that you have given after the story, after the homecoming, that Couple Park story, that chapter ends. There are a tidbits, lot of tidbits that you have given, like, what you should do, what you should not do, and about adoption, like how it happens, and small things that you have, you have made it more informative. So how did that idea pop in? Like, you could have just kept it as a story, but you still decided to add on some more, like technical information over there. So how did that idea pop in?
So, couple of things. So, one is I always thought when I was writing, I had a doubt whether children will be able to understand this book by themselves or will they need an assistant reading, like assisted reading from their parents. Okay, because it's not an easy subject. You being an adoptive parent probably would buy this book and give it to your kids, but
Correct.
generally anybody will not just buy and give it to the kids, right? They're still stigmatized with the word adoption. Somebody even told me, why do you even keep telling adoption in front of your daughter? She will feel bad. I said, we keep telling our story every day, and it's a normal word. But people, who have not gone through this journey, will not probably pick that book. Will feel that it's probably heavy for their child, to read. And generally, what happens when we pick a book for a child, also, we'll go to the back, we'll read, and we'll either start from the front few pages and back few pages, right? So, if there is a FAQ or something, then it kind of creates an interest in the parents. Okay, this has some information. Okay, so this is about adoption, and then there are pictures, and then they would probably pass it to the children, thinking that okay, it's not a morbid story, it's not a very sad story. It has a lot of information, and it is probably educational also for my child. This is one. And also second is I was inspired by from people like you and others who are going out and making it a point. And I'm not very consistent like you, Sana. I'll give some credit to you that you are so
Thank you.
consistently posting everything that comes up. Like we are in the common WhatsApp group, whatever, like even the ugly side of adoption, where parents are giving away, annulling the adoption, and all these stories. Also, you are raising your voice and you are creating awareness. So I thought that okay, just it should not be just I have written a book and I leave it to the people to understand. Okay, let me take some more effort to put points more directly so that I can actually make an impact. Okay, because this is just not a book, it's a message. So if it's a
Correct.
message, it's not only for the children, it's also for the parents. So that part is actually for parents. So I put author's notes to parents so that parents read it and they are intrigued to know more. And how much can I write in that small book, right? I had to hide also so many things, make it sugar coated for children. But if parents read that, at least they know Kara. At least they know, what is they will at least do some Google search, right? What is Kara? What should we not ask adoptive parents? What is root search? They will find out that terms and they will become sensitive, because more than children, I think the bias comes from their parents when we walk out in the park with our children, right? So at least if five parents also read this and understands us, then our children's life will be better, because their children will learn from them. So in a park, when a conversation between parents are happening, is the children who are actually getting absorbing things like sponge.
Right.
So if I can help these parents be more informed, then this conversation changes, and these children's grasping things also changes. They're also grasping different, they're catching different positive signals now, not the negative signals, had these parents
Right.
not been informed. So that was the whole idea about
Yeah,
it.
absolutely. I think this is a very intelligent and smart way to, put in your efforts to normalize this concept of adoption. And I really appreciate and congratulate you for that. Okay, so Somadatta, you already mentioned about it, but I'm going to ask you again, like, for what age group, would you recommend? Like, for those who are heart children and also for those who are, like bio children. So, what is the age group you recommend, like, this book to be read by?
Children who turning 6 or 7, they start asking about their origin, where I have come from. As soon as I think these children they reach that age where they start asking where I have come from, and they start having that much understanding that they come from somewhere, and this is what kind of their origin is, and this is what family is, and this is our family tree, family structure. They start teaching right from class 2 or 3. I think that's when you can. And if that child at that age has had got the habit of reading, because it's not a complete picture book, it has pictures, but it also has very easy but very fluid, but it still has a lot of sentences to read. So provided the child has a habit of reading, he or she can finish at least one chapter in a day. But I think it's a good idea to give that book to the child who will start asking these kind of questions about family and about where they have come from. Or at least if the child has started understanding our Sri Krishna story, right? About the we you if one parent has already told the child the story of Janmashtami, because we
Mm-hmm.
celebrate Janmashtami in India, every child, whether heart babies or bio babies,
Correct.
also are getting dressed like Krishnas and Radhas, right? And we are putting on social media. So, have your child asked you about Krishna and what is Janmashtami? Who was Krishna's mother? Have he asked or she asked you? And what answer you have given? So, if you have already started this conversation with your child, then you can give this book definitely.
Absolutely. I think Krishna's story is one of the beautiful and wonderful stories that any parent can actually, onboard the children to the concept of adoption.
Krishna's story is actually not only a popular folklore, but it also tells us not to, make a villain out of the birth mother. The birth mother,
Correct.
deserves respect, and she would have been through so much, distress that she had to take that decision. And your adoptive
Absolutely.
parent are also your real parents, right? So it encompasses everything. But like you said, our scriptures, it has everything. Even Sita, she was born from
Correct.
the land, right? When her father was plowing the land, that's when he got Sita. So these are all, somewhere, if you read through the scriptures between the lines, we will see that adoption was normalized in our ancient India.
Correct. Correct. I'm really, really happy today that, we are talking so much and I feel the time is running out, but then, like there's so much to talk, but yes, we will definitely connect off the
Sure.
record. Yeah. So, what is that last message would you like to tell our viewers? Like any, prospective parents or someone who is contemplating about adoption, is there one message that you want to share to them?
So I think, okay, for people who are contemplating, who are thinking of adoption, I think they should look inwards and ask, why they want to adopt. Is it because the elders in the family are asking them they need a child and they're not able to give birth? That is the reason. Or is it that they are feeling a desperate need or an urge to nurture a young life, right? A little one. So if the answer is the second one, then they should not wait. They should go to the Kara website and they should start, applying. But if it's a family pressure or something, they should give it some time, go through some counseling, and only when they are sure, because even for puppies I don't think it's returnable, right? Because I have adopted my dog also. So no life is returnable, right? If we have taken responsibility for a life, it is forever. Okay. So that should be there. Like, it's not that the baby face will be very cute and then the tantrums will start and then I will regret and I will feel that's because some other genes have come, and it's not because in our family this problem was not there. If you think an iota of doubt is also there that these kind of things might come, then please, you know I would say, give it a thought. Okay, then it's not a right move for you or the children. Okay, only if you can love unconditionally. And many people do not have the buy-in of their parents, but then it will definitely come. But be sure to be strong to stand by your child for their entire life. And it's also applicable to for a child, because I'm an adoptive parent of a dog, and I have seen many people, they buy dogs and then when their child comes they give away their dogs. They say the child is allergic. Even that is not right? So even when you adopt, you might have a bio child tomorrow. Like, even Sahana had family, that's how the mix of she's a bio, you are a bio mother as well as an adoptive mother, both, and you love them equally without any kind of difference. So that's how it should be. If we should imagine that those kind of incidents happening in a life. What if I have a biochild tomorrow? This child should not be redundant at that time. So all these questions should be played in your mind hundreds and hundreds of time, and then go ahead and apply for adoption. That I would say. And for people who are waiting, I know the wait is long and you are all anxious, but I would say, please, I think, have your sleep now. All the viewers, I think they don't know, but this is, I think, the third slot that Sahana and I agreed and disagreed, and then we finally met 20 minutes later than the decided slot, because we had to make all the arrangements for our kids and have to find some
Correct.
time. So yes, finding your own time is a challenge, but it's a life changing experience. I don't want to scare also. It's too good. Like, it's like you are very tired, your eyes are burning, but you would still want to see your baby's photos on your mobile. It's
Yes.
like that.
Yes. You
So
feel
in
you need a
that,
break, but that break is never a break, like even if you're away,
yes,
your mind is actually thinking about them. You want to, like what they're doing. Are they missing me? And my children, for last 1 week, they were with their granny and grandpa, and I was missing them. They were not missing me, honestly. I am calling them on a video call. I'm like, hey, hi, baby. Mama, go sleep. Bye. We are
oh,
enjoying. We are happy. So thank you so much, Somadatta. And
thank you.
again, congratulations to you for your book. And dear
Thank
viewers,
you,
I will put the
Sana.
description and it's available on Amazon. Please download it on Kindle and read it. And I'm sure your paperback will also be
Yes.
available very soon.
Paperback is, yes, paperback is, I mean, I have published from my end. The
So please go ahead and purchase this book, read it, read it to your children, and understand this beautiful thing, adoption. Because you are already aware of Krishna and Yashoda, so it won't be much difficult to understand our little story,
true,
right? So,
true, true, absolutely.
okay, thank you so much for watching today's episode, and I'm sure this has been really, really helpful to all of you. And again, my sincere, heartfelt thanks to Somadatta for making this precious time availability for me because the Riddhi is really, really small, and I understand that she needs her mother most of the time. So thank you so much, Somadatta.
Thanks, Anna. Thanks for inviting me. I feel so good, to be able to speak, to a
My
larger
pleasure.
audience.
My
And I'm
pleasure.
so glad that you read, and I'm so glad your children liked that book and they were
They
looking
loved
forward
it.
every night. So that is an achievement for me because I want the children to, feel connected with the character Hia of the heroine of the story.
Right. Thank you once again. Have a great day, guys. Thank you so much. And if you
Mm.
have any queries, if you want to understand about adoption or if you want any counseling session, please don't hesitate to drop in a message or send me an email on my email ID. That's momstorybysana@gmail.com. Thank you. Take care. Bye bye.